That was gonna be really good too.
All right, everybody, I'm not muted. Let's try this
There we
again.
go. Hey,
One
people.
day I will cold start this properly. I promise. Bantrol was never, until recently, a wealthy colony. The planet had resources enough just to maintain its own small society, but none worth exporting. There was never any need for the corporate sponsors of its initial colonization to interfere with its administration. In the halls of Solar Union commerce, land shares on Bantrol traded for nothing. No cost, no gain. You might throw all of my land shares on Bantrol into your golf wager as a joke, or give them as a prank gift to a friend. Until recently, though, there was a minor development in an obscure biochemical process technology. The novel features of Bantrol's ecosystem went from being scientific curiosity to being an untapped resource and unknowably deep wellspring of wealth. Land shares on Bantrol are no longer ignored asterisks in anyone's balance sheet. The handover administration power from the descendants of Bantrol's original Terran colonists to the newly interested legal right holders, the self proclaimed landowners, has been cheerful, orderly, and mutually profitable. There have been few isolated spats, of course, but they've been practically no protracted, bitter, bloody war and resistance between the displaced old Bantrasha aristocracy and the off-world landowners. When a landowner uses the threat of violence to force hereditary great family to give up their land, keeping them on as guides and entertainers, it's cheerful. And when they offer them in exchange a negligible sum, it's mutually profitable. And when fiery company of Bantress irregulars responds by raiding their holdings and seizing arms and materials against future battles, the local insurrections taking advantage of the upset by forcibly occupying a biochem processing facility, and the landowners responding with ruthless crackdowns and martial law, these are a few isolated spats. To admit otherwise would be to invite intervention from the Terran Transit Authority, mediation and peacekeeping forces. Then no one would get rich from Bantrol but the TTA. Remember, the Bantrol system is not at war.
It's not at all. Cool. So, we get the awesome intro with the awesome song, all the anime scenes. And then we come in on our city at night. Have we named the city yet? No.
We
Okay.
did. I don't know how to
Oh.
pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
Staney? You're the one that named it.
Oh, did I name it? I
I
wasn't sure because
I pinned it.
Dealer
It's true
Umbra
now.
Dealer Umbra had another idea, so I wasn't sure which one we were going with.
We're going with the one I
Um,
pinned.
I feel
Shiyangi.
like a Sheyangi.
Shiyangi.
Shiyangi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shiyangi. Cool. So we come on down on Shiyangi at night. Like we see we like get like a probably like a sweeping uh thing of like all of the cool architecture, like the and we come down in one of the kind of the not so good parts of town, like with like very like all of like stone, very close together buildings, and like in an alley there. We see someone standing there. They're wearing kind of a suit, and it's in the let's see, get the colors right. I believe it's navy and gold of House Fall.
Yes.
Um, they're standing there, and then we see them like pull out like a stop, like a pocket watch, and like they're like tapping their foot, like they're waiting for somebody. Um, and then we like zoom out, and on another part of town, or like close, like zoom out and then zoom in like a couple streets over, and we see the familiar face from last time. Well, the familiar mask of last time of Amon, like running down the street, and then someone in like a black suit, like kind of like the very cliched like secret agent type, like chasing him. And then Amon like is like just like we see like running through the streets, and then like eventually like Amon like like pulls out a canister and like tosses it behind him like to make like a smoke thing, and Amon like ends up getting away. Like he gets to like a car or something, and then like someone's driving him away, and then he's sitting in the back, and then we just like I think we just hear him like fuck, and then like it closes. And we see like the person he was supposed to meet like eventually gets to the time, and then they like turn and just like kind of quickly leave the alley. Yeah, and that's my solo scene.
So if I could I jump in? All right. So I think we follow Amon's car for just a minute as he drives off into the countryside. And then the camera stays on the countryside and it time lapses into dawn. And then dawn gives way to morning. And we see in the distance on horseback, we see Ceres and a company of her men and some familiar landowners that we saw from the parade from previous session. And Ceres is wearing probably like equestrian attire, like the pants and the little jacket and like the hat. And she also has a bow on her back and quiver of arrows at her side. And she leads everyone into this forest to go hunting. And we get a scene of her drawing her bow as she's about to fire on some game. And then we hear laser pistol fire. And like there's birds in the trees that scatter and all the game goes running, and we hear one of the men guffaw and says, "Ha! I got it! Right between the eyes! You Bantraphyll don't know what you're doing out here." And Ceres just slowly lowers her bow and says nothing, but that's my scene.
And in a very different looking scene, it's dark and it takes a while for the camera to adjust to the light. We see it comes in like it's very dark, and the very first light that you see is like from a blowtorch sparking, and then it comes and you can see like a welder's mask, and it zooms out and you can see that there is a collection of people who are all working on the same mobile frame. It's very obvious this was a formerly a construction mobile frame. It still has like an eye bar like hanging from one of its gripped hands, but like there's like sparks shooting off of it. You can tell that the mechanism is broken, and there are 3 or 4 people going around with welders and electrical tools, crawling all over this giant robot. And you can see Professor Angela Jones is the one who was the first person that we zoomed in on with the welder's mask, and she lifts it up, and you can see she's sweaty and dirty and covered in soot. And she says, just a few more hours, and this unit should be ready. Not solid, but it will run. Then only 3 more. And the rest of the workers like give a very exhausted cheer. Like they it's very obvious they've been working on this all night long, and they're finally almost finished with the first one. It's been a long and exhausting night, but they are making progress. And that was my opening scene here.
Awesome.
So I would like to open with a I want to see uh, Professor Jones and Amon together.
Amon or Malik?
That's the question. I was originally thinking Amon, but maybe Malik would be more interesting. So we can do both. Uh, let's start with Malik, because
Okay.
that might actually be more interesting than what I originally had in mind. Um, how about a conversation over food?
Okay.
Does Malik attend the university where oh Jesus, I just resized the cameras, didn't I? Everything's ruined. Uh no, it's fine, okay. I was freaking out for a second.
All good. All good.
uh does Malik attend the university?
He used to. He's graduated since, but he definitely used to attend that university.
Okay, okay. So how about this? It is a alumni charity auction.
Mhm.
And they are uh, uh, Malik and Professor Jones wound up being sat together at the same table. And whether this was by design or by just random chance, they both find themselves, their little placards are next to each other at this table.
Mhm.
And I think we cut in as there's like some really boring award ceremony going on.
Is it like a silent auction where like everything's already out and you go and put things, or is it going to be like an auction where like you bid on
I
stuff
think
with
it's
like an
definitely a
auctioneer and
it's
everything?
definitely a silent auction, and it's also like it's like a dual function where there's like a the most prominent donors of the year are getting like plaques or
Mm-hmm.
something. It's like a fundraiser for the university, you know?
Got it. Yeah, yeah,
And so they're like giving out the congratulations you spent the most money on us awards.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because that's the thing.
I know those. I
Yeah.
went to college.
And so
I've seen those before.
Professor Jones has to be here. But tell me a little bit more. What brought Malik here? Why?
Um,
What do
I
you
think he
think?
probably got like the. I'm sure they like spammed out like, "Hey, all the alumni, come back and give us money
Of
because
course.
you went to school here, which means you owe us money, right?"
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, and I think he is um outwardly he's coming because like he hasn't done a school thing in a while and like he like wants to keep up like connections with people there since he's still in the area and everything. Um, inwardly he's hoping to like spark some sort of, it's like see if anybody there might be like, oh man, I hate these landowners and I hate these nobility people, and it's like, well actually here's my card.
mm-hmm.
But like yeah, like outwardly it's like, oh, I'm an alumni, I should stop by and like I'll buy a thing or whatever. um
Mm-hmm.
Keep my name in the circles and everything. um so yeah, he's definitely there like in like probably similar stuff to what he wears to work, like some like a different suit, like the line is like slightly different or whatever, but it's a still same kind of like
Mm-hmm.
nice suit style. um uh but yeah, he's there, he's hanging out doing his thing. um let's see, so what do you notice about each other, what have you heard? um People have probably heard like since the uh gravitas is starting to like become a name, people are probably like hearing like, oh, I heard they've been cracking down on those like those terrorist groups.
Mm-hmm.
um um
I think you
yeah,
notice what you notice about Professor Jones. Did you ever have any of her classes?
yeah, I
Oh
think
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Hmm. Of course
She's
I did.
she's dressed very well, um, as her usual in like um in a very professory like business suit that kind of just screams professor. But
Hmm.
you've seen her before, and you notice the dark circles under her eyes. It looks like she hasn't slept, and there is grease just caked under her fingernails that she just can't get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
It's a subtle thing, but you'd probably notice.
Nice.
I
Cool.
would also like to be present.
Absolutely, it makes sense for your character to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the reason that I'm here isn't in official Bantraphyll nobility representing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to get extra credit for your class. And so I think I was like required to be here to like usher people in and like hold the doors open, and now I'm sitting not necessarily next to you, but like I'm at the same table as you, and maybe like there's another couple of students
Mm-hmm.
from the class who are also wanted extra credit, and like
Mhm.
some of them are like acting as like waiters and stuff, but
Mhm.
I was like one of the ushers.
Perfect.
Awesome.
As far as what any of you might have heard about me is that I mean, there was a hunting accident. We'll just say that there was a hunting accident, and a landowner is in a hospital now. He was shot with an arrow. Misfire. It was an accident.
Of course. Of course.
Of course.
And probably particularly Malik probably notices that I look particularly uncomfortable to be here, but he would not know why.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Professor would notice, especially sleep deprived as she is.
No.
And her mind is on other things.
Definitely. Definitely. Uh Tux, I think Malik has the lowest social standing here, so you take the first turn.
Yeah. um let's see, which one do I want to do? All right. So it's probably, I think it's in like the auction portion where like there's not like a speech going on or whatever. It's kind of just the walk around and bid on things section.
Mm-hmm.
So Malik's walking around, he's probably got like a drink. And he's got like his bidding like cred stick or whatever out that you it's the future. So like we like go up and like plug it in to bid or whatever.
Yeah. I gotcha.
And I think he's just walking around and then sees the professor and they kind of like, oh, then like walks over and kind of like just Angela hears from like behind or whatever, like oh, it's good to see they've kept such great professors here.
Malik,
Hello, Professor Jones. How are you doing?
it's been a few years since I've seen you here.
It has been I've been fairly busy, work and all that.
Come to spread the love.
Oh, of course. I've like just I just like wave my hand at some of like those the items, like placed a few bids. Hopefully I'll get something. Either way, it's all going to good cause. So I think everybody wins here.
Not everybody, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Well, um, well, I am now that I'm back and I'm kind of feel bad. I haven't been doing my part to kind of help the university out. If there's anything I can do, please let me know. And then I'm feeling generous. What favor do you ask me?
You always had a flair. Would you be willing to come to my class and speak on your experiences?
Oh, of course. Be happy to.
I'll be in touch.
Sounds great. Yeah, I'd love to uh tell everyone about all the stuff I've been able to do. the city and dealing with all the things that have been happening recently with the landowners coming down, Bantraphyll having to deal with them. I'm very, because of my position, I'm very integrated and all that. So probably provided.
You never struck me as one who was politically minded.
Well, things can change.
I'll keep that in mind.
Of course.
I think that's a good time for her to wander away.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like the camera follows her as she comes upon a familiar pink-haired figure.
Student
Indeed. and she says, "Very so good to see you. I know you're only here for the credits, but I appreciate it nonetheless."
Well, I'm always happy to help, Professor. Actually, here, and I offer you a cup of coffee.
Oh.
They told me to give this to you, but you do look kind of tired, so I'm sorry. Here, please.
She takes it.
I'm just like falling all over myself in awkwardness.
You're very sweet. I appreciate it. I've been putting in a lot of hours.
It must be very hard to be a professor. There's so many people to keep track of.
Indeed. You never come to the meetings after class.
No, I haven't been. I have another class right after, so I have to get going.
Ah, well, is no trouble.
Are they important? I could be late once if you think I need to be there. Though I don't think I could do it every time.
No, child, you are. It's a fancy of mine. Please forget I said anything.
I'm looking at those questions and I'm trying to figure out if I should ask one or if you should.
I'm working towards one, but if you have one you'd like to ask.
I don't think I do yet, so.
Okay.
I think I'm trying very hard not to blush. And so I'm just not saying anything and I'm focusing very hard right now.
Okay. All right. Well, now you've put me in a position. Something gives you away to me. What?
I think I fail and I blush.
Oh no! Sorry, my cat almost knocked me over my beer, and that would have been tragedy.
Truth.
Okay. So I think like you blush. And at when she says that it's a fancy of hers that you would join her after school.
Yes.
And she she's kind of like turns her head to the side and like you can see like the gears turning. Hold on. The gears turning. And suddenly like we get like a quick flashback in her mind to the party from last week where there was a dance and she was dancing with a beautiful pink-haired girl wearing a fox mask, and suddenly it clicks. It did not before. It was completely, and so suddenly in response she blushes as well and she says, "I'm terribly sorry. I thank you for the coffee." And like
and then I'm just like, she hates me. I think I run away and I just leave. I'm out of the conversation. I think I just leave the event.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Back to you, Malik.
Okay.
I don't need a turn. It's fine.
Sure. I'm probably like over like somewhere that's like bidding on something, and I just see like the flush of pink hair as it leaves a door near me. Like, huh. Sip and like keep walking. And then I think we like so like you and I talk here, then you talk to her over here, and we just end up circling back around to each other.
Yeah.
And then let's see. I want to buy something that would like help, because I want to do the something what was it at? What was the one? Is it I accidentally spell the secret, then I cover it gracefully, but you pick up on it anyway? I think it's that one. No, I guess that wouldn't really come into play yet, but or I guess never mind. Let's see. I think it's going to be. Okay, yeah, it's going to be that one. So I'm gonna we end up coming back around, and I think like Malik like gives like a chuckle, and then like as we like end up walking closer and like, long time no see, Professor Jones.
Fancy meeting you here, Malik. Like we chuckle since it was like 5 minutes ago.
Right, yeah.
Please tell me you're still blushing though.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, this is like moments after she left, and so I think definitely she is still blushing. But she like uses this kind of joke moment to like recover, and like is totally fine after that.
Well, I think I've done my walk through, bid on a few things. Hopefully, some things are fairly nice. As we've gotten a few places to donate to. Hopefully, I'll get something.
What are you bidding on, if I may be so bold as to ask?
Oh, a few of the local art pieces. Some of the there's a couple pieces of tech over there that some friends might be interested in. Just some knickknacks mostly.
There are some wonderful artists represented here.
Absolutely, they're local too, which is very, very important to me.
A number of my students have art on display here.
Oh, very, very good. I look around like maybe I got one, maybe not. Oh well. And then I look back. Then I like look back and like speaking of students, are you still? I remember before there'd be some days where we would like the topic would be kind of related to the class, but there'd be a little more what's the word, fiery, a little more driven about all the nobility, all the stuff going on. That still happen? Does that still happen? Are you still kind of trying to fight the good fight?
I am very passionate about our history and our people, including current history.
Excellent. I'm very glad to hear that. It's important. I think it's really important for, especially students that are soaking up all this knowledge, kind of finding their place in the world, learning how they think about things, and creating their opinions about things, to have a good influence like yourself, like I did.
Thank you. Where you've taken yourself, Malik, is quite impressive.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
To think I may have had a small part in that is... it warms my heart.
Well, my plans are only going to get bigger as time goes on.
Good. Then, perhaps in addition to speaking in front of my class, you can speak with my after-school program as well.
Oh.
I have a small club I am the facilitator for that, well, student activism, you know.
Excellent. I'd definitely be happy to speak to them about it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, potentially find some volunteers.
Like, she frowns, like, at that. Like, there's just this, like, momentary, like...
What does that mean?
Yeah, just a little bit. I think I'm going to take that as I hope I can get you to commit to.
Okay, cool, yeah.
So.
Awesome. And I think I look over, like there's all the tables with items, and there's like a table with the like food,
Mm-hmm.
and then I point at it, and it's like, I really have to commend you on finding actual Bantraphyll cuisine. You ever had the? I look around and make sure like no like over that we can hear ourselves, and like you've had the displeasure of tasting all of the food that has been brought down from the off-worlders, have you?
Oh, that fried trash.
It's not good.
It's
Not very good. I'm still cleansing myself of the thing I had to taste at the game the other day. It was not very good at all.
That game was a... Ugh. Never mind. She like looks around again, like as a make sure there are no landowners that are possible donors here.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
Perhaps this is not the best venue for this conversation.
Of course. Just glad to see some local food, as always.
And yeah, she nods. Well, I think I'm going to finish my coffee and get ready for my portion of the presentation.
Of course. I'll find a good seat.
Perfect. I think that's the end of a conversation over food.
Cool.
Who would like to do another thing?
I would like to go last, if that's okay with you, Tux.
Sure. Let's see. I'm not sure what would be a good one for I guess we could do an animated disagreement, but I don't know if I would like, because I want to do something of me coming to the class or like the after school thing and like talking, but I don't know if we would get into like a heated debate there. Because I don't know if he would want to, like, first time he's coming in, be like, guess what, we just strike back, and then it's like, whoa. I guess we don't have to do that one. Let's see. I think so when is Siri's in the mech and like doing mech stuff?
Technically, she's not supposed to ever be.
Right. But
when is she actually?
It's probably in the evenings or at night when she's supposed to be in her room studying and she sneaks out.
Okay.
Or anytime she can get away. So, I mean, we can work with that whenever you would want it to be, but probably most likely in the evenings.
Okay, because now I'm thinking meeting sword to sword could be fun.
Ooh.
A mech, we could have like a mech fight. Like,
I like that.
That was what I was going to have, but but I think what we did was much more interesting. So thank you.
Yeah. So I think like it's like that evening, and we see Sari is like in the city or wherever she is, kind of just flying around doing mech stuff. And then like on one of the monitors, it's like incoming from the right or whatever, and then like a mech just like zooms past you and like circles around in the sky. And so it's the first time we've seen Amon's mech on screen, and so it's very I pictured it as like, because basically they're all like reconstituted like mechs from like jobs or whatever. In my head there was like, so there's like the big tough construction ones that do the construction work, and I pictured like the stewards or the supervisors of like the construction workers having a mech so they can get around the sites very quickly. And so I pictured Amon as having commandeered one of those. So it's like fairly small but very agile, like it's very angular, like very very Gundam-esque, I guess, and like it's all like there's like things coming off and it's very angular, so you can like zoom around quickly and like get to stuff fast. And it's obviously he's very on brand, so it's like very dark, and with like the lights and the exhaust stuff is like coming off as purple. And then I think like the face has been retrofitted to look like a raven, and then in the right hand there's a chain sword, left hand there is like this big gun thing, and I think he like points the chain sword at you, and then like out of like a speaker says something like member of the royal family, you are letting this planet down.
Your response is only static. And the haunting glow behind the Valkyrie helmet of Sari's mother's mech. You see Sophitia remove the lance and point it at you in a challenge or a warning.
I want you to know we don't have to fight. If you're willing to help the people, this can go very smoothly, but if not, and like the chains like revs once.
Again, I feel like she can't say anything.
Right.
Because she's not supposed to be there. And so I think we just get a look for her direct, like, I am helping people. But like you can't turn the comms on. So there's no response. She doesn't attack you, but she doesn't stand down either.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just like there's like, and then of course like we see like the very, very dark cockpit with Amon like in the darkness with like purple like hollow displays up, and then just like no response. Like we see there's like a visual representation of like the comms coming from the other mech, and it's just static, and it's like very well, and then just rushes with the chain sword.
Oh, this is going well.
Yay, misunderstandings.
What do we notice about each other? What have we heard?
It's very obvious that this mech is if not piloted by associated with like the group that's been doing all the weird videos. The mech probably looks, I guess like it's older, but for like a mech that's been retrofitted to do this sort of thing, it's fairly new, which would probably tell you that like either this person hasn't piloted it for very long, or like they just got it and put the weapons on and it's like, okay, we think it works. like probably like very hurried, I guess, is like the impression that would probably come across as like, it's like we needed something out there, so they just found it, put a sword and a gun on it and shoved it out into the world.
On my end, I think something twigs in you that you remember hearing a rumor that there's a haunted mobile frame that used to belong to Siri's mother. And
Yeah,
I think like the gears are kind of like, wait, is this what? Like, it's possible that this is that unpiloted mech.
totally. Yeah.
And
like,
I think that they're shielding so you don't get any life sign readings from it.
Yeah. So yeah, like I'm on like it was I targeted, like I'm on targeted because like it was like, oh, it's a really fancy mech with all these colors. It's obviously like a noble mech, so I'm gonna go attack it. But now it's like, oh, wait a minute, it's those colors and all these rumors and like
and no life signs and the static. It's
no
the
life
ghost
signs
mech.
and static. Great, it's a ghost mech. Fantastic. Awesome.
I love this.
Cool.
I feel like since you probably get more time to practice in a mobile frame, even though you're not necessarily used to this particular one, you probably count as better with the sword.
Okay. Okay, so leading questions. Let's see which of these is pretty good. Darn it, there's so many that are what do you say to me?
You know what I'm gonna say to you.
Nothing.
Actually, if you want to do that, I have an idea for that, so leave that open.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I think just as a very, very cool, very like good like opening thing, Amon just like does like the like he thrusts his weapons back and his pulsar things like fire off behind him and he just flies at you. And then he like comes up with the chainsword and like our two weapons just catch each other. And so we circle sword tips touching. What do you say to me?
So I think we get a scene, like we see the two mobile frames circling, and then we get a scene of Ceres in her cockpit, and she's manipulating those controls with one hand while furiously typing on a keyboard with her left hand, trying to send a message to your cockpit. And so I think you get a horribly typoed, garbled message. And there's words in there like, no need, fight, protecting people. You can make that out of it.
It's like, wait, what? He doesn't say anything, but it's like the Raven Mask like tilts a little bit like at this weird message that came up. Like, it just looks back and just like, what is this? And it just like pushes forward with the chainsaw to try and like break the like the impasse we have. Like,
and okay. I think as you're pushing forward, you thrust perilously close to my face. Do you cut me? If so, where?
I think it's not a very damaging thing, but like I think he like pushes past and revs the chainsword to like send your spear down it, and then like turns and like gets this like a kind of cut across the front of the mech. He was kind of like thrust us away, so it's like just like a glancing hit.
Yeah, so it's like more like scratched paint. It's like more cosmetic than damaging. Gotcha.
Yeah, so like does that, and then he like boosts off a little bit to like get away to try and think of something else to another direction to come from. And so I think Amon like boosts forward, like coming down with like trying to do like a vertical attack, but like your spear comes up in a way he didn't expect. And so it like cuts across, hit the front of his mech. And so you touch me, cutting me along the rib or across the arm. Do you press your attack or give me a moment?
I give you a moment because I don't want to fight you. I'm defending against you.
Right. I'm the jerk here.
Yeah. So I think when I touch you to cut you, I think I cut you across the arm as you're trying to strike me, and it just pushes you back. And there's an obvious opportunity where I could have pressed forward, but instead I fall back. And I'm still at the ready. The spear is still pointed in your direction, but I'm clearly on the defensive, and I'm not trying to fight you, but I'm obviously willing.
Got it. Cool.
Let's see. I'm going to look at some closing questions now. So I think what happens is as I fall back, it doesn't necessarily immediately register that I'm trying to end this engagement. And you seize that opportunity to press forward, and you knock my spear out of my hand.
Okay.
Do you allow me to recover it, or must I submit?
Yeah, so like we see like the big clash, and then like the spear like circling away, and like it like sticks into like a building or something. And then like Amon's like just pointing the chainsword like at like the cockpit area, and the chainsword just going like really quickly. And then like camera cuts to inside the cockpit. Like the purple eyes are just like staring at like the visual of this mech in front of him. And then he like pulls away, and the chainsword like pulls up and like and back. And then like it starts like stops revving, and he doesn't say anything. He just is clearly giving you like, he's not going to like do the finishing blow. He's either cutting it off or letting you recover. Because now he's very confused about what's happening here.
I think that's very perfect.
So we're just standing in front of each other like not entirely sure what's going on. Let's see. So I think do I have to use one of the questions to end it, or could I just end it by leaving?
If you feel like that last question that I said ends the fight,
okay,
because you're like,
no,
okay,
yeah, totally.
This person's not fighting, I don't want to fight them anymore. Then yeah, we could just end it.
Okay, yeah. So like I think like at that, like we like stand there for like a minute, like a while. Like our mech's just like releasing steam after like our like systems are cooling down and stuff. And Amon's just like, okay, what the hell just happened? Like it was like really, really quick fight, but in that like minute and a half of just like really quick like strikes, it was just super confusing because it's like, okay, usually this goes very, very differently. Usually when I fight a noble mech, it's very quick, very dumb, and then I like cut through the mech and cut it down, or we take the person out and we steal the mech for ourselves. But this was just very defensive and weird.
And doesn't even seem to be trying to fight you. It's just
right, exactly. You're just like bang bang, don't hit me. I'm just trying to defend myself. And it's like I've never fought a noble that is defending themselves. I've only fought nobles that are trying to stop me from messing with their deals or whatever. And so it's just like, wait a minute, this is totally clashing with my worldview right now. And so he just like sheathes the chain sword and just like turns and jets away. Like doesn't say anything to you, just flies away really quickly.
And I think like this scene ends on Ciri's inner cockpit, just watching that blip going away and going, what the heck was that?
Awesome.
And
that was fun.
That brings us to your scene, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm still torn. I know I want to do a scene with Professor Jones.
Oh, well, then I won't mute my mic again.
But I am torn between a chase and stealing time together, and I can't decide which one.
Ooh, they're both so good, though.
I know, especially because my idea for the chase is we flash back to that festival, and Professor Jones sees that cute girl in the fox mask again. But stealing time together could be I need help after class, and it's after that auction, and so it's super awkward.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Let's be horribly awkward.
Okay.
Okay, so it's after class, obviously. So we are in one of the university classrooms. I imagine it's kind of a lecture style hall with the graduated seating and the podium and that sort of thing. And I had to come back after my next class to meet with you there. And so it's after you've met with your rebels.
Yeah, like they're all just leaving as you come in.
And so it's just you and just me. And oh gosh.
It's perfect.
Okay, so do we need to do I notice anything about you? Have I heard anything about you?
I think the only thing that you notice is that it looks like she still hasn't got enough sleep.
Okay.
It's been a few days and she's still looking like she's been burning the candle at both ends.
Okay.
She doesn't look any more tired, but she definitely looks like she's been pushing herself too hard.
As for me, I don't know that you've heard anything, but I definitely seem kind of frazzled. And normally, even though I've been more awkward around you and you haven't been able to figure out why until recently, this goes beyond that. Like, I'm kind of jumpy, where normally I am at least more composed in that respect.
Gotcha. I think the one thing that you definitely this is the other thing that you notice about her is like the rest of the crew is leaving, and you very carefully notice that as the door opens and someone else comes in, she starts rolling her sleeve down that had been rolled up.
So I think I watched these other students leave, and they're all kind of looking at me like, what are you doing here? As they're walking out, like kind of not giving me the stink eye, but just kind of like, okay, you're here. What's this about? And me being on edge, I'm just kind of like dodging away from them and holding my school books very tightly to my chest. And I think I like stumble a little bit as I'm coming down the steps, and normally I'm very graceful, so that maybe seems weird to you. And I say, Professor Jones, do you have a moment?
Of course. What is the series?
Well, I think I blush and I look away, and I think I have trouble speaking, and so I don't answer right away.
Yeah, and I so Professor Jones like walks up to her, and I want to take your books from you, may I? Yeah, let me help you with these.
You may. I want to word the. You may, but only for a moment, and then I withdraw to a less charged distance. So I think you take my books to set them down, and like I go to snatch them back, and they like tumble down onto the ground, and I just like jump away, like I am. No.
Yeah, and so she immediately like kneels down to pick them back up again when they fall on the ground. And she's of course wearing like a knee-length skirt, that as she kneels is I wouldn't say revealing, but maybe potentially could be.
It probably has one of those slits that goes up the
Yeah,
back too.
exactly. And so she kneels down and she picks the books back up again and says, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you."
I'm not frightened. I'm not frightened.
You seem
I,
very on edge. Are you all right?
I'm fine. I just, I,
Is
I've
someone?
been,
No, please speak. I'm sorry.
I'm just having some trouble following the last lecture, and I really want to get a good grade in this class. So I was hoping you might be able to take some time to explain it to me.
Of course. Here. And like she sits down in like one of the auditorium seats, um, and like gestures for you to like sit the row behind her. And so she like kind of turns and like leans over the back of the chair. This material is about the last time there was a revolution on Bantraphyll. 200 years ago, when the current landowners had left the, well, current, no, when they had abandoned us, there was chaos. And as the nobility, such as yourself, started to take up the slack and make sure the train still ran and that we had water. It was a very important turning point. Now, some say it was a mistake to not govern ourselves, but not everyone knows what's best for themselves. You know what I mean?
I think I nod, but I can't help thinking, like, I seem kind of distracted. I can't help thinking about that fight with Amon and how he was telling me that I needed to help the people, and I'm like, I'm helping the people. And I think that's part of what's making me confused. And so I think, and you're a professor, you can see that even though I nod, it's not like a, oh, the light bulb came on. Yeah. It's like a, sure, whatever you say. I'm
Yeah. And I think she says, I can see that you understand how important it was, but not certain you see how it affects us even today. I'm going to tell you a secret, series. All of my curriculum, it's about today's politics as much as it is about our own history. Your mother's a part of that, you know.
I know.
Oh, she speaks. These series. I don't mean to intimidate you, I'm sorry.
I think this was a mistake. I don't think I should have come. I'll just get one of the other students to help me. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm so sorry for wasting your time.
You've wasted nothing, please. Stay. obviously still have questions.
I think I'd get up to leave anyway. Like, this is too much for me right now.
She lets you go.
Okay, then I think I gather my books. I probably drop one and then I just leave it because I can't go back for it. I'm too embarrassed.
Yeah, like she grabs the book and she's like, serious.
No. I'm gone.
Okay, I got one of your books.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
It's a reason for us to meet again.
It
Ah.
is. It is. It's a good call. Good call. That brings us to the end. Normally we'd go one more, but as you may have noticed, Umbra is not with us today. He's got family obligations.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap it up here.
Short and sweet.
What questions do you have for next time?
I have one.
Mm-hmm.
Can Ceres and the Revolution find common ground?
Good one.
I'm definitely curious about where Amon's taken Professor Jones's teachings and like radicalized them. So I want to see where the differences are in their opinions about what's going on.
Absolutely. And I also want to see where CH4, like, where he fits in this world. That makes sense. And I think that's an interesting question to find the answer to.
Yeah.
Cool. This has been a short session of Mobile Frame Zero Firebrands. We'll be back next week for more Love and Bantraphyll. We're gonna tell you guys about ourselves so you can follow us and find out more cool stuff that we do. For example, Astani did all of the character art for this amazing show. So, and these overlays, they're beautiful. Tell us more about yourself, Astani.
So I like role-playing games and board games, and I don't have time to do enough of that. But I did stream for a long time on Twitch, so if you want to check out my backlogs, I have all of my VODs up on Twitch, twitch.tv/Astani. And if you want to reach out to me on Twitter about anything, or just follow me there to see what's going on, when Love and Banterville is going to be next on, if I have time and I do fan art of all the awesome things that just happened. You can follow me there, twitter.com/Astani. Otherwise, I'll be back here next week.
Yay!
Yay!
How about you, Tux? I heard you do some things on the internet.
It's true. You can find those things over on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube. Those are all /Tuxtradamus. So it's fairly easy to find if you're curious. I also do a lot of role-playing stuff. We're now doing 3 shows over on my channel. Wednesday, we have Longfall. Saturdays today, we have, in about 2 hours, we're going to have Smooth Criminals, our Blades show. And then at 8 tonight, we're going to have the premiere of our Urban Shadows game, The Perimeter. It's going to be really cool. Our artist is finishing up the overlays and stuff today. They're way more badass than I was, because I told her here's what I'm thinking. I've got some ideas. You're this was what I'm thinking. And she's like, does this look okay? And I'm like, holy shit, how'd you do that? Because they're really, really badass. And I was just expecting I was expecting here, and she went way over here in the level of awesomeness that they are. So it's gonna be really cool. But yeah, thank you for watching and hanging out with us in our Bantrallian stuff. So yeah, have a great day, and check out some more role-playing stuff because there's plenty going on today.
There's a lot. Yeah, today is Roll20 Con. Lots of people are using Roll20.net and all of the apps. There's going to be a lot of content today, including more shows that I'm on. I am in 5 shows a week, obviously here. My own channel, Kels Delphi for Love and Bantraphyll, 10 a.m. Pacific time on Saturdays. 1 p.m. Pacific time in about a little less than 2 hours. Be over on Tux's channel for Smooth Criminals. I run that game Ablaze in the Dark. Then at 5 p.m. Pacific time, I will be over on AP Gaming Reels channel for Winner's Edge the Grand Company, which is Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. It's pretty cool. Wednesdays, I'm in 2 shows as well over on RP Glory's channel at 10 a.m. I play in a game of Burning Wheel and called The Burning Wind, which is set in the world of The Name of the Wind. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. My character is literally crazy and knows the name of the stars, and what that means exactly, we're not entirely sure, but destiny, I think. I don't know. And then Wednesday evening, 5 p.m. Pacific, I'm back over on Tux's channel for Longfall, which is, other than this game, probably my favorite game that I'm part of. I'm not supposed to have favorites because they're all my beautiful children, but I don't tell the rest that I love it best. You can follow me on Twitter at Kelsa, Twitch and YouTube. It's Kelsa Delphi. I tweet about lots of different things, all the shows that I'm on, sometimes art that I make, and also pictures of spiders. So if any of those things strike your interest, follow me on those places. And thank you all for coming out. I'm going to switch us back over to the hype song. So if you guys came in late and missed it, there's some really amazing music by Drummer Boy that I'm going to share with you all. So here we go.